For May 1st, it marks Great Lakes Awareness Day, an event that is all about raising awareness around protecting the freshwater ecosystem of the Great Lakes. And here in Northeast Ohio, so much of what we do revolves around our greatest lake, Lake Erie. But it's easy to take this incredible natural resource for granted. Matt Wentz certainly doesn't do any of that. He joins us now with more on this. Hi, Matt.
Yeah, hi, Carmen. That's right. Some of us don't do much with our greatest lake at all. Some of us occasionally play in the lake, and some of us live by or look at Lake Erie every single day. Regardless of where you fall in that spectrum, I'll bet the majority of us don't know what makes our great lake, well, great. So let's get to know how our beautiful water source just does its thing. Lake Erie is the shallowest of the Great Lakes with an average depth of 62 feet. Why is this important? Well, for one, it enables it to heat up quickly in the spring and early summer. Water temperatures reach into the 70s during the summer months, which turns Lake Erie into a popular recreational destination. From boating and sailing to paddle boarding and jet skiing, there's no shortage of water activities off of our northern shores once it warms up. Lake Erie is popular with sports fishermen, and it boasts an extensive walleye fishery. Charter fishing boats also take tourists out to catch smallmouth bass. On the flip side, Lake Erie cools down quickly because of how shallow it is, and it cools down a lot, to the point that it can freeze over completely during the coldest of winters, more so than any of the other Great Lakes. Yes, technically you could walk the 57 miles from Cleveland to the southern shores of Canada during the coldest of cold winters, but I wouldn't recommend it. Have you felt that wind off the lake in the winter? And speaking of wind off the lake, when we get cold Arctic air over a relatively warm lake water in the late fall and early winter, we get something called lake effect snow. Doesn't always get the best reception around here, probably because it keeps giving and giving and, well, keeps giving all the way through the winter months. If you live outside of the snow belt, 20 to 40 inches of snow per year. Inside the snow belt, 60, 70, 80, even up to 100 inches of snowfall annually, all due to this thing behind me. As the southernmost of the Great Lakes, the majority of Lake Erie's water flows in through the Detroit River from all the upper lakes, Lake Superior, Michigan, and Huron, as well as other tributaries such as the St. Clair River and Lake St. Clair. All of our rivers here in Northeast Ohio actually flow into Lake Erie, and that's oftentimes why the lake appears muddy after a period of heavy rainfall. Lake Erie's main outlet, it's Niagara Falls. The Niagara River, which is the source of the falls, runs 36 miles and connects Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, which eventually finds its way out into the Atlantic Ocean via the St. Lawrence River. It's been calculated that the average drop of water would take 200 years to go from Lake Superior through Lake Erie out to the Atlantic Ocean. Finally, did you know that Lake Erie is a birdwatcher's paradise? The open waters out on Lake Erie provide a spectacle like no other in the entire Great Lakes. Waterfowl galore pack marshes, and the open lake waters and marsh birds breed in coastal wetlands. Only 8 of the U.S. states have a Great Lake for a border, and we happen to be one of them. And we also happen to live in the part of Ohio that's closest to our Great Lake. So come on down to Lake Erie and enjoy everything that it has to offer. It really is our greatest lake. And it really is. I hope that helps kind of show how special our lake is. I know a lot of us take us for granted. I did growing up. I mean, we grew up out in Ashtabula County. We were 10 miles from the lake, and we'd go there not as often, I think, as I would take the kids now. So get on down to Lake Erie. I'll tell you, maybe not today or tomorrow, but as we get into the extended forecast, and especially into the summertime, that is going to be when we can reap the benefits of our greatest lake. Carmen?
Matt, thank you. My favorite shot was of you sitting on the rock, looking really cool, watching the birds. No, but seriously, it does remind all of us that we have such a gem here that we need to take advantage of. And summer's coming, so it's the perfect time.
Right.
To soak it all in.
It absolutely is. Yep.